Happy 420 everyone, and welcome to Stoner Drive. This will be a podcast that will inform, entertain, and I'll also be interviewing people from the cannabis industry of California. Out in the world right now, there's a lot of misinformation and honestly bullshit facts spread by big medias, and none of them are actually from the industry. So this podcast is to go and interview those people and give you the true information, and then that way you can make the decision yourself if cannabis is for you or if it's not. With 33 states legalizing medical marijuana in the United States, and 11 of those have legalized recreational cannabis for anyone 21 and over, a lot of you are asking your friends or yourself, is this for me? How much do I take? Is it safe? And that's the questions I want to answer for you. My name is Shagwhelin Brooks Bullock, or you guys can call me Shaggy. To give you a little bit of background information on myself, I moved to California 3 years ago from Virginia. I was dealing part-time in Virginia, probably about a quarter pound to a half pound a week. And every time I heard the sirens, I would get scared and paranoid and have this pit in my stomach. And I was just sick and tired of feeling like this. This is a plant that has relieved me of back pain, that's helped me with sleep, that's connected with my friends, and has just been such great medicine to myself and sharing with my other friends. And it's bullshit that I should feel scared for this something I believe in and for a fucking plant. And so that's when I decided 3 years ago that I needed to go and move to a state that understood and at least was open to the idea of cannabis. And that's when I decided first I was going to try to go to Florida thinking that the medical marijuana policy would change. People backed out. And then I was going to Colorado and just wasn't quite right. Some things happened. And then eventually I helped some friends move out from San Diego from my college JMU, or James Madison. Go Dukes! So once I moved out here, I was expecting, you know what, I have these knowledge, I watch documentaries, I read articles, like I'm going to be able to get in the cannabis industry easily. But it wasn't that easy. It honestly took 6 months to a year before I even got my first shot. I was, on my days off, I was riding a bicycle 30 miles just to apply to 5 dispensaries. I came out with a duffel bag, a box, and my dog, and it was a lot harder than I thought it'd be, but I knew my dream. I knew I had to be in this industry, and nothing was going to stop me. I eventually got a part of a tour company that unfortunately didn't last too long, a couple months, but then eventually allowed me to get into a dispensary that we used to visit. I was bud tending for probably 6 months or so. Unfortunately, the shop closed just because of some backdoor stuff with some of the owners. If you look up Balboa Collective, the original, or Treehouse Balboa, got a little sketchy. Not going to go into too much detail there. But then, luckily, once it closed, I happened to be busing actually at a restaurant, Short Club in San Diego, and my coworker Anthony was busting along me. He was working with Therapeutonics, and I was telling him I was trying to get in. For a year I was saying, hey man, anytime you need somebody, let me know, I'll be there. And luckily when the dispensary closed, he needed me, and so he brought me on. And so it was really cool to start off as a brewer, and we made coffees and teas and tinctures, just full plant infused, amazing product. And then I worked more into events and PADs, or patient appreciation days, at dispensaries. Started working more, just educating people, trying to get involved more in the community, do beach cleanups, community cleanups. We even were the first cannabis company to adopt a highway in Southern California. And so I just wanted to get involved in the community and show them about cannabis and teach them. And the best way to teach people is to show them that you're part of their community. And so now I'm do sales, marketing, and I'm the education behind our brand. I go to the bud tenders, to the sales reps, the influencers, and the public, and I educate them. And I figure what a better way to educate people than to talk directly to them. And that's what I hope this podcast does for you. Now, there are a lot of misconceptions about cannabis and stigmatisms, and that's what I hope to break down. I do think with the legalization of these states that I don't think everybody should be high all the time. Even though I'm in the cannabis industry and I do smoke 24/7, I do not think everybody should consume 24/7. It can be addictive to people that have addictive personalities. And that's one thing I do want to bring up. A common term for somebody who smokes a lot of cannabis and is lazy and never leaves their house, screws over their friends, and spends all their money on cannabis, they call them a stoner. But they're not. They're an addict. And unfortunately, they would be an addict regardless of the substance. Cannabis can be abused, just like any other drug, exercising, eating. I mean, anything can be abused if you have an addictive personality. So don't blame cannabis because of these people's personalities. And that's why I want to say I am proud to be a stoner. I moved across country to follow my dream. I've worked 3 jobs since I was 17. I've done anything and everything I can to help my community, to help people access this medicine. And I've done it 24/7. I'm medicating myself all the time. And I'm successful. And people don't even know. They're like, oh, how do you do that? Oh, you're high, blah, blah. I'm high and I'm working 55 to 75 hours a week sometimes. And I'm proud to be a stoner. So I do hope that anybody that listens to this podcast will tag maybe a story, a picture about themselves and showing that successful people that medicate all the time are stoners and not the addicts. You look at Snoop Dogg, you look at Cheech and Chong, you look at Bob Marley, you look at Cameron Diaz, Joe Rogan, and then now that it's becoming legal, you have doctors and lawyers and scientists coming out and saying, yes, I use cannabis all the time. And so these are the people that we need to consider stoners, not the addicts. Now, I am really, really excited to have my first guest on this show. If you've heard or you need to hear about Cannabis Synergy, this is a project and a team that we're building together to educate, just like I'm doing today, educate the people about cannabis from people in the industry. We do have a show that we do at the end of every Friday, or the last Friday of every month, and it's just a great way to come out, live audience, and it's just an umbrella for all of us to express what we love about cannabis. So I'm excited to introduce you all to my co-host, Joanne from Cannabis Synergy, and let her tell you her story.
Hi, thanks for having me, Shaggy. I'm so excited to be the first guest. Came out of nowhere. Thank you so much for asking and thinking of me. So,
absolutely.
I'm very excited to be here.
Now, Joanne, before we even started Cannabis Synergy, she was actually the first one to interview me and Anthony with therapy. So that was just a great introduction.
Absolutely.
And so after that, working with Anna, who's also a part of Cannabis Synergy, we all just wanted to get together. Joanne, I have to admit, led this. She's been behind it. She's a producer, and it's just been bringing us together to create this great project. And it's actually helped me inspire to start this podcast.
Oh, that's awesome, yeah.
So if you'd just like to tell the people about yourself, what do you do in the cannabis industry?
Yeah, so of course. So I've been working in the cannabis space since 2015. I started working for a person. Well, I had just separated from the military honorably. I did my time, and then I was dealing with some issues as far as sleep and just mental health issues from an accident that happened to me while I was in the military, from which I got a concussion. And somebody introduced me to cannabis, and it completely flipped the coin. I mean, I went from being I would say I felt like I had a dark cloud following me at all times, and I just couldn't shake it. But mentally and physically, I felt like that. I was dealing with the aches from that accident that I mentioned earlier. And then just my mind was cloudy as hell, so, and I could not shake it. And then with the sleeping situation, according to the VA doctors, and they said that due to my sleeping circumstances, since it was pretty bad. I was sleeping like 3 hours a day, interrupted. So like waking up every hour. So that pretty much led to like the mental cloudiness, probably some anger issues and mental health situations. So a friend heard me speaking about it and gave me an edible. Like I think it was 15 milligrams or something like that. And that night I slept like a solid 6 hours.
I've actually heard that from a lot of people. At their first time edibles, if you just give them the right amount, not too much, has been the best sleep for every single person.
I am telling you, I was like, this was a guy that was my friend's boyfriend, that I had a little goodbye party for her here at my house. And I had met him that night. And he gave me that. And I asked her, like, can I have your boyfriend's number? It was so weird. I need to talk to him about what the hell he gave me in a very, very good way. So I started talking to him about it, and he told me that he had a legal company. And I'm like, what the hell does that even mean? So he's telling me, I already knew that California was legal for medical and this and that, but I don't think I ever thought about it.
Yeah. So you didn't experiment in high school or anything, or even think about
see, in high school, zero cannabis, zero. To me, I think I found, like, my friend left a little nug in my house, and I stared at it for like weeks. and honestly, one day I came home and it was gone, so I figured like my mom threw it away or something. She never said it, and I wasn't gonna bring it up.
Exactly.
I left that alone, and then I went to college, and there I experimented there, but most of the time, I would say 99% of the time when I smoked, I got sleepy. So it was like a party buster for me. If I was at a party and I took a hit, I was going back to the dorms to go to sleep. So like I never was interested in it because, I didn't have those sleeping issues back then. And I would like be at the parties like passed out. So I was like, no, I cannot be doing that. Yeah. So that was my experimentation there. And then shortly after I graduated college, I joined the military. So while I was in it, I'd never.
Oh, absolutely.
So then coming back to the situation, this guy introduces me, and once I slept, I could see clearly all over. I said to him, I want in. I said, because I'm a very business-minded person. So I just thought of how that helped me and how much I would pay to, like, I don't mind paying to get that wellness in my life, because
get rid of that cloud.
Get rid of the cloud, get rid of, depression, get rid of anxiety that comes from, all that those stress situations that we go through. I was like, this is, forget, like corporate America and, the cannabis companies, because I did my research. Then I was like, cannabis, looking it up, legal, and looking, multi-million-dollar companies, and my entrepreneurial mind is like computing, like, wait, but mostly because I'm correlating what it did for me, and like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, dude, if this right now people don't know about this, when they find out, this is going to be a frenzy. And there's a lot of money to be made. And if this is going to help people and make money, sign me the fuck up. Can we curse here?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Okay, good.
We will try to keep it
a little
cleaner, but I mean,
I got excited.
We are honest with you, so that you will get the true selves on Stoner Drive, just so people are aware.